Says here the fading echoes of a monoculture. And it starts out 1983, a staggering 83 million viewers, 90% of U.S. households, gathered around their televisions to watch the MASH finale. Do you guys know who or what MASH is?
Yeah.
My bad. I'm sorry, man. I mute myself a lot just to be on the safe side. What I was saying was my wife's a huge fan. I'm 44. She's like 42, I think. So she's a couple years younger than me, but I guess maybe her parents liked it too. I can't remember, but she's a huge fan. Has it on DVD.
Yeah, I remember watching this live. I was 12 back then.
I was born in 81, so I only heard about this. Yeah, only heard about this. I was two years old. I was too young for it.
Yeah, I was 12, and I was allowed to stay up and watch it. And it was crazy the amount of people that were talking about it. Even at school, I remember going to school, and kids are talking about it.
That's interesting.
But name one show today that you can go into your work, hang out with friends, and you go, "Hey guys, did you see so and so?"
It's pretty rare. It's pretty rare. I was saying that to coworkers. I swear to God, man, just this week I was saying that about how rare it is to have some sort of like communal thing that you're all into that you come to work talking about. There's been a couple of things, but it's not like it used to be where, almost everybody there would be into it. It might be one other person, might be nobody.
I think like Stranger Things for me.
Stranger Things I did hear.
Series 1, because Netflix made that into a bit of an event.
Mm-hmm.
That was like one of the things because it was everywhere. They did relatively good marketing. I think Netflix was still kind of becoming a bit of a thing in the rest of the world. So other than that, like, not really. I mean, there's a small sliver of talk like Tulsa King, but that was within people like already talking about this stuff. But yeah, just I guess the youth of today are talking about stabbing and rap music and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm the only I'm not gonna say I'm the only nerd at work, but I'm definitely the only nerd of my level of nerddom at my job for sure. I'm also the only freaking man there. So I'm a lot of things just
yeah, it's just it's frustrating, at least, and especially for me, being a writer, a lover of superhero stuff, trying to find people in this niche, and it's become so small that it's difficult to find anybody that you can just talk comics and superheroes with, which is the reason why I'm sure it's the reason why I have this. It's the reason I'm sure Chris has his Neon TARDIS, so we can just talk nerd stuff and talk pop culture things and the things that excite us and stuff we like. That's why I started Gallifrey Central, because I wanted to talk about Doctor Who, and I needed an excuse. So just come up with the YouTube
That's
channel.
the problem, though, isn't it? Because modern franchises now just seem to want to do everything to drive the normal viewers away. So you go into your workplace, like as an example in the UK, and you say, "Oh, did you watch the new Doctor Who?" And they turn around and go, "Nah, it looked a bit gay." I think that's the conversation, isn't it? That's the conversation kind of. And for the most part, that's pretty much what it's like with franchises. Every time they revive a franchise, they just make it worse. Like intentionally awful, like Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who, etc., etc., etc. So it's like, you can only talk about the good old days for so long, in kind of workplace and stuff.
Yeah. Lisa Ribido, 8467. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Says, I'm old. Back when I was a kid, everyone was obsessed with who shot JR on Dallas, no matter.
Yeah, the important topics.
Yeah, I remember that.
You heard about
it was quality TV, though, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was like, "Oh shit!" Who was it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we all know how that turned out, I suppose. But
it was like my son and I were talking about it yesterday, and I was kind of joking about how, you know, how tame the 1990 miniseries seems now. And when it came out, I was like 9 years old, and it scared the shit out of me. But it was something I can remember. Adults watched it, you know, and then everybody at school talked about it. It was like, you know, so many people of different ages checked out those Stephen King miniseries and stuff. It was kind of like a community thing. It was pretty cool. It's something I've not often stopped like we are now and reflecting on how kind of cool it was when you think about it. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, I mean everything. I mean, with the introduction of YouTube and TikTok and Spotify, everything's been niched down so far now. We're what once was just a large group of nerds like us, like we used to be. Now we're like, we got a small group of nerds here, and got a small group of nerds over here, and
yeah,
it's
yeah. It's like if you do the movie set in the high school instead of when they're introducing the new kid to the groups, and like there's the goth kids, there's the comic book nerds. It's like there's the white comic book nerds, there's the black comic book nerds, there's the anime comic book nerds. You know, it's like every little thing's been shattered. Yeah.
I know when I'm going someplace to introduce myself, and I'm going to be new, and I kind of want people to know who I am, what I'm all about. I usually go in the first day wearing a comic book T-shirt, a Batman, you know, or Green Lantern, Captain America, something. One of my comic book T-shirts, and usually the person who goes, "Hey, I like your shirt."
Yeah.
All right, now you're going to be my friend at work.
Right. Right. I know what you mean. Yeah.
That's usually a good way to suss out who you want to hang out with.
Yeah.
And then there's some people who go, "Oh, yeah, okay, I know who you are too."
Yeah, I always since I have to wear the same shit, I have to wear scrubs. So what I do is like I take something with me to read, and that's usually how. Like one person I work with was like a big Batman fan and had a lot of Batman comics and stuff like that. So it is you kind of signal to people to see who's cool with the same stuff.
I mean, you just hit upon something I think I've got kind of stored for Sunday. But you're saying Scrubs, and they've released a first little teaser, haven't they?
Oh God,
of the new cast, and it looks awful. Like everything about it, it looks like, I can't remember how I put it exactly, but it's like a cringing kind of woke TV show with a scrub skin suit over the top.
Oh.
You know, they're all Botoxed up, and they've got the cringe rap music, and oh boy, that's gonna hurt. That's
same
really
old formula.
That comes out. Sorry, man.
Just saying, same formula, right? Same formula. They apply the same things to everything. You know, it all looks the same. Stupid, cringy.
Yeah, I saw the teaser trailer. I did not have the volume up, so I'll have to go back.
I haven't seen it
and listen to it. I saw it on X, and I was doing something else. I was at Thanksgiving dinner yesterday, and I just happened to be scrolling through, and I had the volume down so I didn't disturb anyone. I saw it. I'm like, oh wow,
yeah.
I'll have to come back to that.
God, I did wonder. I was like, do we know who you are? How you doing?
Hey. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's
We're
pretty
all here, Alice.
I noticed today, like, I don't often sit in here and like dick around the internet or something. I basically only use this laptop to get on here and hang out with you guys, or like do something with playing guitar or whatever. And I decided I was going to go over to Twitter and scroll a little bit. And it was just like you were absolutely assaulted with negative shit. And don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about burying your head in the sand, but I was like, damn, I'm looking forward to going and hanging out with Chris and Steve because this shit is depressing, man. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, so you go into this article and they say, is this shift permanent? Is this whole fracturing of the fandoms and whatnot permanent? And that it may be a permanent shift. It may be the way things go from now on. It's no longer going to be one giant nerd culture. We're now going to be fractured into lots of tiny little pieces, which is sad, because I know there's a lot of people out there who like, let's just use Doctor Who, for example. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who like the new Doctor who are decent people. I'm sure they exist. You're muted, Brandon.
Everybody has had to work with that person who's just innocent and just has no clue about anything political, and they just like you because they do. And I've gotten to the point in my life where I don't even, it's like you don't want to tell somebody Santa Claus isn't real sort of shit. I won't even talk about something political with them or mention, you know what I mean? Like I won't hate on it. But yeah, I know what you mean. There are people that just innocently like something. Yeah, for sure.
And it's and you know, I mean, because personally, I make the hard line stand. Nothing past the 12th Doctor. Everything else past that is just gay fan fiction.
True that.
Literally. And so, and then you got those fans over there that do like it, who once they hear my stance, they're like, "Nah, I don't want nothing to do with you." But again, they're decent people. In the old days, we would have been able to have a conversation.
Yep. Definitely.
I think a lot of it, though, is especially with the fans online, is they just like it because just, they probably don't even watch the program that much. They just want to, because, like I said, it touches on their ideology. They just have to defend it because, there's a gay black person in it, as an example, not naming any TV shows. So they have to, the content of the program doesn't matter. It's gay. So, they have to defend it.
I mean, if 80% of Americans feel the country is more divided than ever, this is just like a micro, the pop culture stuff is just a microcosm of everything else. That's the scary part. But can it be fixed? I mean, I don't want to be black-pilled. I mean, can something be done? God, I hope so.
Well, not when you look at kind of Doctor Who again as the example, the punching bag for this conversation. And you've got Russell T Davies saying he knows how to make the grand return of Doctor Who in 2026. And like, motherfucker, you're the one that buried it in 2024.
Well, and maybe it's a microcosm for that. Can things be fixed too? I don't know. God.
Maybe it's a black hole.
Yeah, I would love to see things go back to the way they used to be. You have a little more, of a wider audience, and an audience that isn't so sensitive. So when you do, disagree, they don't start shrieking and start calling you an istophobe and stuff.
Trying to call somebody their job or something,
Understand that, if you want to like the 15th Doctor, go ahead. In my head canon, he doesn't exist. Not at all. He's not real. But if you want to like him, fine. And it's like the old days. When you work at a comic book store, you'd be there, you're talking to your friend, you're talking to somebody else who just happens to be there, and you start talking, Superman or Hulk, and then you get into an argument, or you get into a friendly argument, I should say.
Yeah.
Captain America and Batman. Who is it?
I remember, God, and this has been like 20 or 21 years ago now, but the first comic book shop I ever worked in, and I was just younger and stupider like everybody. And I can remember the owner, God rest his soul, telling me something. He said, you may think something sucks, but he's like, that's somebody that comes in here's favorite character. You know what I'm saying? And I remember like having to think about that sort of shit going forward. You didn't want to offend people, and you were polite about that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but look what that's got us now, Brandon.
Well, to some degree,
people. Make offending great again.
No kidding.
Yeah,
but
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, but yeah, who knows? That's it. Good.
The fact that people just can't seem to get along anymore. They want to find fault with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And they really want to find fault when you come after them for what they like. I mean, I couldn't care less if someone said, you know, you're stupid for only liking the 12th dot and not liking, you know, Jodie Whittaker. And I'm like, I couldn't care less about your thoughts.
I don't know, Steve. I think that makes you pretty smart, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
You are an intelligent human being, and I appreciate, you know, your.
That's the nicest thing anyone said to me.